Hello. Welcome back to the Mompreneur Life podcast. And in today's episode, we are discussing simple systems. So, simple things that you can do to help you stay productive, get more things done, or make your life a little easier. As a mom, I'm telling you now, life is not easy. But you can incorporate like simple systems into your day to day to kind of relieve some of that stress, relieve some of that overwhelm, and just to get things done. Because so many times we start things but actually don't finish because we're currently overwhelmed or it's a bit too much you don't really have time. So, as you all know, okay, on this podcast, I like to bring you the mompreneur life, things that, mompreneurs have to handle being a mom as well as being a working mom or an entrepreneur. So, bringing off that in to one person can be a lot. But on this podcast, I like to help you by giving you simple tips to help you get started, keep things going, and lessen that stress and lessen that overwhelm. So, like I said, today we are talking about simple systems. And in addition to that, of course, in the beginning of every episode, I like to give you two things: a mom win and a mom struggle, because we all know sometimes moms struggle. This mama over here is always on the struggle bus. Okay, so let's go with the mom win first. And that mom win is I have been very consistent with my YouTube channel and I'm seeing a lot of growth from it. And I feel like with it being I've been consistent and I've been putting out content that my viewers actually want to watch, I've been getting more views and I have been getting new subscribers daily. So I see that by me being consistent and me consistently putting out videos that people actually want to watch is bringing me more traction. So the mom struggle has been trying to juggle everything at work. So trying to juggle everything at work. And I feel like at work, I'm trying to keep it to where it doesn't bubble over into home time or bubble over into me having to stay at work later. So I'm trying to keep it as, easy and seamless as possible at work, but I'm dealing with over 100 students. So of course that is very hard at times. I am still working with that aspect of my life and I am struggling. But let's get into these simple systems. These systems are what I use just to help keep me from losing my mind, because I'm dealing with home, I'm dealing with work, I'm dealing with clients, I'm dealing with running my own podcast and YouTube channel. I'm dealing with a lot and managing a lot. So I had to create systems to make everything work or at least get a handle on the thing. So these systems I had to create. And I don't like systems that have multiple steps. I cannot stand it because midway through, I don't feel like doing all the steps to accomplish one task. And then midway through, I kind of forget some of the steps. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, I really be forgetting the steps. Even if I write it down, I forget where I wrote it down, or I even forget to check what I wrote down to actually implement the steps. Too much. Homegirl, too much. So I decided to create some simple systems to actually help me. Like simple things I can do to help me accomplish a task or get things rolling. So that is pretty much where the focus is with this episode, is these simple systems that I created, so maybe it could actually help you. So think about it. How much time have you wasted thinking about what you should be doing now? Like, I think we've all done that. Or we look at our planner and be like, oh, this is just too much. So normally what I do when I'm overwhelmed, I just sit on the couch and I just say, forget all of this. I don't care no more. Somebody better figure it out because it's not me. So I realized I was doing that a lot. And I was like, okay, I can't just keep saying forget this and things are not actually getting done. So I had to come up with these simple systems. So So in today's episode, what I'm going to go over is why you need simple systems and where to actually incorporate these simple systems into your day-to-day life. Because what I realized, I would listen to like other YouTubers or people on IG about their schedule, and I would look at it and be like, so you have an assistant, or okay, so you have a person to come out and clean, or oh, okay, you don't do all of this for yourself. You're not a solo team. It's you and a bunch of other people. Okay, what you just told me does not apply to me in my life. Thanks a lot for wasting my time. So, first of all, why do you need these systems? Like I said before, you need these simple systems because think about how much time in your day do you have to incorporate a complex system. If the system is complex and you're already overwhelmed with accomplishing a task, and then you have to incorporate the complex system, you're not going to accomplish the task nor implement this complex system. You're not going to do it. It is what it is. So I feel like you need them. You need these simple systems to get things done. Reach your goals. Let's say, for instance, you have some goals that you're trying to accomplish and you don't know where to begin. You don't know where you are in the journey. You don't know what you should be even doing. The first place you start is knowing the goal, knowing what you need to do to accomplish that goal, and then creating a system for what you need to do to accomplish the goal. So, when you are creating these systems to reach a goal, a daily goal or a work goal, a freelance goal, a entrepreneur goal, a house goal, it doesn't matter. You are not creating systems for the overall goal. You're creating systems for the task that you need to do to actually reach the goal. So think of your big goal and then how you break down your goal into certain things that you need to do to reach that goal, so your task. So you can create a system for that task. When I'm talking about simple systems, think of like a morning routine. Think about the steps in your morning routine or your evening routine. You have a system, okay? Where can you actually incorporate these simple systems? Home. So at home, one way you can incorporate it is a cleaning routine, a morning routine, evening routine, anything really and truly. So for me, my evening routine starts as soon as I walk in the door. So I walk in the door, I go ahead and get out of my work clothes, I give my son a snack, I then go ahead on and start dinner. While he's eating his snack, I go ahead on and get the water running for his bath, give him a bath. I go ahead on and cook dinner. I do my load of laundry. I kind of do the house tasks. So I'm kind of like in a system. I create a system. Okay, I do this, then I move on to this, then I move on to this, then I move on to this. And by the time I'm done, it is dinner time. So then we eat dinner. Once we're done with dinner, my husband is normally walking in the door, and I wait a little while until he changes his clothes and he gets his dinner and he's sitting on the couch, and I then head into the office to complete freelance work, editing, or whatever I need to do. So that's kind of like my system. So think of first thing you need to do. What's next? What's after that? What's after that? Okay, so my end goal is to make sure the house is situated, laundry is done, dinner is cooked, and then I have time to work on freelance work or anything like that. Another place where you can incorporate systems is at work. Currently, my current system at work is when I first get in, I check my emails, I make sure the assignments is scheduled to post on the platform, and I prep for the entire rest of the day. I make sure everything is good for the entire day, make sure the lesson is good, and every day I have a different goal. So Thursdays, I know the goal is to write out my lesson plans. On Wednesday, I know my goal is to write out the daily prompts, the writing prompts. So every day I have a different goal. Every day I have a different theme. So I then work on the theme of the day based on what I have scheduled, and then I might attend a meeting that I might have to attend. So that is my morning at work. In the evening, I then prep for the next day. If I have to make copies or anything like that, I do that once the bell rings and all the students are gone. So that is my system. That is what I do. I know first I do this, then this, then this. Then in the afternoons, I do this, then this, then this. So I might make phone calls on certain days. I might go ahead on and make copies, go ahead on, write out lesson plans or finish up lesson plans. Or I might be putting in grades. So every day is something different and every day I have a different goal. Yes, I do set daily goals at times. For the most part, every day, but some days I am over life. I'm just saying. But I create a system to help me reach those daily goals. The point of, creating these simple systems, to be honest, is for your big end result. What is the big end result? So think of your goal. That is your big end result. So think of different things you can do daily to help you create that goal. So, prime example, anytime I record a podcast episode, for every episode, I have an entire routine and entire system I follow. So first, I have a list of episodes that I want to record. I then get the calendar to see, okay, how many episodes need to go out for the month. All right, let's say 4 episodes need to go out this month. I then find 4 topics or 4 titles that I want to put out for this month. Okay, I then outline those 4 episodes. And then I prep the day that I want to record my episodes. All right, cool. I then sit down and I record a video as well as an audio version of the podcast episode. Once I am done recording that episode, I then take the memory card out of the camera and I input that video footage into Final Cut Pro. I then export the audio, my platform that I record the audio into, and then I add that also into Final Cut Pro. I then sync the audio and the video together to make one clip. Once I am done with that, I then move it over to another platform to make any corrections I need, as far as long pauses or anything like that. Once I'm done with that, I then move it where it needs to be. So I then add the intro and outro to the video for YouTube. I then add the intro and outro for the audio for the podcast. And in the podcast episode, once I add the intro and outro, I put it through Auphonic, which makes sure the levels are all good for podcasting. See, if I didn't have these steps, I would be confused on what I need to do next. It's a lot of steps for my podcast episodes, only because I have video associated with it. If I did not have video associated with my podcast episodes, to be honest, it would be fairly simple because when I edit a client just podcast episodes, I just go through the entire episode manually, take out long pauses, mistakes, or anything like that. But with me, I have the video, so I have extra steps. So if I did not have a system for that, something would get messed up somewhere. I guarantee it. Like, yeah, it would be tore up. Like, no way around it. Oh well. But anyway, I feel like you need to see, okay, what are you trying to accomplish? What steps do you need to take to accomplish it? And then you're going to create a system around it. The way how I have a system around creating podcast episodes, you need to create a system around whatever your goal is. Let's say, for instance, you want to start recording YouTube episodes. You know you need to record. Once you're done recording, you then need to back up the footage to make sure you don't lose it. Then you need to edit the footage, and then you need to upload, create a thumbnail, get a description, get tags, all of that. That is your system. With your morning routine or your evening routine, that is your system to make things go smoothly. The goal is to make things go smoothly to lessen the stress and lessen the overwhelm. So if you create a system and you realize midway through, okay, this system has too many steps, you need to then find what steps can you cut out, or is there a program to make this go a little easier? So you need to try to keep your life as simple as possible. And creating simple systems is your start. You want to create a simple system for things that overwhelm you currently in your life. So think of where you're currently overwhelmed. Think of a system that you can create to help you. There are some things you just can't create a system for, or it's too many moving parts or too many outside factors that you can't predict. So with a toddler, it's hard to create a system around the toddler, focused on that toddler, because you never know how they're going to wake up and what kind of mood they're going to be on. It is what it is. But with things that you can control, try to create a system for things that you can control, because then it would lessen the stress on you and it would make things go a little smoother. Okay. Before I had systems set in place for like podcasting or just YouTube or me at work, I was overwhelmed and I realized I wasn't consistent or I was behind. So before I had a system at work, even my work planner, I realized I was behind on grades. I was behind on meetings. I never knew where I needed to be. I never had my lesson plans up to date. By me creating systems and daily goals as well as daily themes, I was just all over the place and nothing really got accomplished and I was always behind. Before I created a system for the podcast, when I first started, I was overwhelmed. Like, editing kicked my behind. Audio editing. Video editing was easy to me, but audio editing kicked my behind. I felt like I couldn't, like, the audio sounded bad. And I couldn't figure out how to level it correctly. And I didn't know when to level it. I didn't know if I should level it before I edited it or if I should do it after. I didn't know. I would just level the audio whenever. So by me creating a system, I know, okay, this, then this. I record, I outline, record, sync, edit, include intro and outro. You get what I'm saying? So then I have a system. So when it's time for me to put out the episodes, I know they're solid. I know they're good. So I don't have to really worry too much about it. So if you don't know, I am a mom and I do have a toddler, and I'm not like most podcasters where they have quiet time in their house. No, I don't have that in my home. My home is never quiet. Could I have waited until he taken a nap? No. The reason why I said no is because he don't always take naps. I'm just saying. So if you hear him, that is why. He don't take much naps, and I wanted to get these recorded. I'm just saying, I don't have episodes lined up for next week. No, the week after. And I like to be ahead. So I am following my system with or without this toddler yelling in the background. I'm just saying, like, as a mom, you have to stop waiting for the perfect time, because guess what? It's not coming. We have kids, and if we're waiting until they're older, we don't know what's going to be going on in our life then. So if you're waiting for your kids to get old, to be older for you to start a YouTube channel or a podcast or a blog, don't do that. Don't do it, because you don't know where your life's going to be in the next 5 years. But now, you are focused on it and you really want to do it, just do it. So yes, I have my toddler in the back screaming. I have a load of clothes watching, and I think my husband's in the kitchen cooking breakfast. And I'm literally sitting here just acting as if that is not all going on outside this door. I'm just saying, I'm really sitting here acting as if it is really quiet, knowing it's not. And I'm also hoping my husband put him on the potty. Crap. So, yeah. Anyway, back to systems. As y'all know, I get sidetracked really easy. Like with me, over here, I have an outline of my episode. So I'm always glancing at my outline to kind of keep me focused. But some way, somehow, throughout every episode, I get a little sidetracked. But it's okay. I feel like it's okay because whenever I get sidetracked, I'm talking about things that people can relate to, or I want you to know that you're not the only one going through something. So whenever I get sidetracked, I'm talking about my real life in a day. But it's all good. So, yeah. Anywho, I want you to think of your day. Think of where you can incorporate systems. So remember, systems You think of systems, think of a list of tasks you need to accomplish before reaching a goal. A list of things that you need to do in a routine to accomplish your goal or make things go a little smoother. So, if you enjoyed this episode on the Mompreneur Life podcast, if you gained anything from it, make sure you leave us a good review, and I'll catch you later. Thank you so much for listening. See ya.